Hi folks, Scott Sega with you here, RTC TV4. We're back in the studio today with our sports director, Steve Stricker. Good to see you, Steve.
Good to be here again.
Is it?
It is.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
Good. I'm glad he's survived the winter and fall seasons. Again, it was a baptism by fire. We brought Steve in late August, and boy, we hit the ground running and just took off from there, didn't we?
Crazy. We did a lot of games, and you know, coming in on the Monday after the first Friday of football season, it was a little hectic, but we made it through and had a nice little break, and we're getting ready to get going with this spring sports.
Absolutely. Well, spring and summer kind of blend together as some of those games, especially the youth league games that we're going to be covering, go well into the summer. We had a lot of fun last year with Libya and Dakota starting us out in early June with some coverage, and then we brought Steve in August. You did some summer coverage for us as well last year. We brought you in a little early just to do some of that stuff. Yeah,
I was doing some evening baseball over at Rochester. Spent some time at the Little League field there.
Absolutely.
And had a good time.
Yeah, and they're making, you and I were just out there, they're making a ton of changes here locally in Rochester, but I'm excited about this spring season. We're going to try and get you as much coverage as possible, weather being the biggest thing that'll shut down a production, but we're working on that. As I've said in some of our other interviews, we've got some technology with some weatherproof cameras that we're trying to have installed this year. Really, that's building for the future, 2020 and beyond, but you know, we have to get started at some point, and this year will be a little bit of a hybrid. We'll give you as much coverage as we can, weather dependent, of course, but we're looking forward to it. We're going to have more softball, more baseball than we've ever covered here on Channel 4, and you know, again, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, we've got a lot of interns coming in this summer, folks interested in communications. We're going to have them involved in the productions. Really going to be a great summer, I think, for us here.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Looking forward to what we can do with those interns. We've got a lot of interest. We've got people from all 8 of our communities, really,
and some college kids coming back. We like to see the college kids who are finding their way, and they want to be a part of sports broadcasting in their careers. So
yeah, excited about that. And looking forward to see what we can do with all those folks.
Absolutely. So again, this is kind of a hybrid year, a building year as we build out our baseball and softball coverage. Of course, we'll have tons of non-sporting events for you, the parades, festivals, and fairs. More interviews coming as well. One of the things I want to compliment Steve on while I've got him in here is his interviews you've done throughout the year. We've had more than ever. We've talked to the coaches, the ADs, the players, the parents in some cases. And, you know, that's what it's all about here at RTC TV4. It's the community, and we want to put that camera right on those folks to highlight all the great things they're doing.
Yeah, we're just getting started with that. I really enjoy that part of it. I like taking the camera and going out and sitting down with the folks, and that's kind of what we're here talking about this morning. I was up at Argos the other day and got a chance to talk to the baseball and softball coaches and some of the players, and as they're getting set for their seasons. So we've got a nice hybrid of teams up there. They've got some older players on both teams that they're really looking for some big things out of.
Yeah, you got some veterans, but you also got some young blood coming up in the freshmen and sophomores, and we're looking forward to really seeing what Argos can do up there. That's where you started. You started at Argos. We brought up a computer, and I know initially we were doing them together, and then we kind of let you do your own thing and cover those for us, you and Andy Stone. Now we brought Phil Dean into the mix. We've had Andy's wife up there a few times, really helping out. A young man named Peyton Heckerman doing a great job for us as a student there at Argos, and I just look forward to the continuing maturation and evolution of Channel 4 up there, and things like these interviews where Steve gets in, talks to some of the players, the coaches. We love these. I know you enjoy them. We get all sorts of feedback, so I can't thank you enough for going up there and getting that done.
Yeah, it should be a great season for both teams. Like I said, they got some, especially the baseball team. They've really got some seniors. I think he said they had 7 or 8 seniors. I think so. And really looking forward to that. Joe Kindig is the coach up there. Of course, his son Ian, you guys know well. Played basketball for 4 years, and he's a really good baseball player as well.
Excellent.
So looking forward to you know, some Argos baseball. They've been down for you know, a few years, but there's a tradition. I mean, there's been some really good players. You know, Eric Stoltz graduated from Argos, played Major League Baseball for many years, and there's been some really good baseball that's been played up at Argos. So looking forward to that. Softball-wise, Alyssa Thayer, she's going into her 11th season.
Great. Veteran coach.
Yeah, veteran coach. She's got some good senior leadership there. They had a rough season last year, only won one game, but they were in most of those games, and we talked about this with Alyssa. It seemed like there was that one inning in every game that, they were right there, and then all of a sudden the wheels fell off. They put the wheels back on for the next inning, but it was, kind of a little bit too late.
Yeah.
And so looking forward to seeing what they can do with that.
That's great.
And got a chance to talk to Phil, because he's an assistant coach for the softball team. Got him on camera.
Phil Dean on camera.
Yeah. Normally he's one of those guys that likes to stay behind the scenes.
Yeah, one of our producers.
Got him out there on camera and got him, a little choked up talking about... he's such a family man. His wife and him, and they're family people through and through.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody that needs anything in Argos, they're going to be the first ones to step up.
Absolutely. Good people. We like good people.
Yep.
One thing we haven't talked about, Argos, of course, is the only one of our 8 schools to have lacrosse, which we filmed a couple of games last year, enjoyed that. But that was their first year of lacrosse.
It was their first year. They won 2 games last year, which was very good for a first-year program, and actually... started off their season, they're 2-0.
Yeah.
This year, I mean, it's amazing. Coach Humphrey, I haven't had a chance to sit down with him yet this spring, but he comes from a lacrosse background.
Great.
He was at the Culver Academy for several years, and of course, their last year they were the #1 lacrosse team in the country.
Wow.
So I don't know what they're doing this year over there, but he knows it's lacrosse.
That's great,
and it's pretty cool. It's a neat sport, and if you haven't seen it, we're going to get some of those games for you too.
Absolutely. We had a lot of comments last year. Folks from Rochester, folks from Tippecanoe Valley, Caston, that were able to see those games.
Yeah.
They were like, lacrosse, where's that coming from? And they enjoyed watching them. Of course, we had to indoctrinate our commentators last year on what's happening out there.
We didn't know what we were doing either, so we were learning with the kids, and it was fun. And it's a nice sport because it's kind of got a little bit of soccer, it's got a little bit of hockey, it's got a little bit of pro wrestling. It's physical, It
is. It was great to watch that in variety. And again, when we think of Argos, well, soccer is king. But we look at what we've done on the basketball court. We look at what we've done with the softball and baseball teams over the years. Adding lacrosse to a 1A school, that's just fantastic. And the question is always, can we field a team? Can we get enough people to come out for it? And they did, and so much so that they've repeated, and they're off to a great start already this year.
Yeah, it's a spring sport, so you're competing with the baseball team up there for players. I think last year they said there was maybe 2 people that were baseball players that switched over to lacrosse. They really picked up a group of athletes, a group of players that just didn't do anything in the spring.
And the soccer coaches love it, by the way, because it keeps them physically active, getting ready for that season.
A lot of them are soccer players, and it works well because it's the same type of offense movement. You just have a little bit different, obviously, delivery with a ball and a stick instead of using your feet. And that was the funny thing about it last year, the first couple games. You saw a lot of it. You can actually kick the ball.
Yeah.
And we saw some of that because they're so used to using their feet that that was kind of their go-to, their revert back to kind of thing.
Absolutely. Well, very neat up there, and we've just enjoyed and been embraced by the community of Argos. Hopefully you've got RTC services in your house. If not, we do offer those services up in Argos, so make sure you reach out. Everything's better on RTC is the way we put it. Your internet connectivity, everything. So... Argos, just one of those schools that really proud to be a part of and partner with, and a lot of great things going on is with our other schools that we've chosen to partner with. And I thank you again for bringing these interviews to us. That's where we're at now. We're going to kick it over to the interviews with the folks from Argos, and more of those to come, right?
Yep, more of those to come as we get time. We're going to be kicking off some softball coverage and baseball coverage here in the next week or so. So we're going to try and get some more of those interviews as we get to the fields.
Perfect. Well, that's what you've got coming up right here on RTC TV4. Some exclusive interviews with the coaches and folks up at Argos. So thanks again, Steve. Thank you for watching. Enjoy these interviews here on RTC TV4.
Hey, good afternoon. Steve Stricker here this afternoon up here at Argos High School, and we're talking to the second-year head coach of the Argos baseball team, Joe Kindig. And Joe, tell us a little bit about what you got coming up here this year. You're getting ready to go. Season's kicking off here shortly, so tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
We got a lot of seniors this year, very heavy seniors, 7 to be honest. Most of them are going to be doing many things, infield, outfield. They're going to be all over the place pitching. A lot of good leadership out of this group. A lot of them have played for at least 3 years now on the varsity level, so we're expecting a lot.
Got to do a couple of your games last year, and some ups and downs. And you're hoping that with the seniors that you have, I know you got a pretty good pitcher in Ian Kindig, one of your big seniors. Obviously, you know him well. So talk a little bit about those seniors.
Well, last year our pitching award went to Trey DeVos. He continues on this year. He's going to be a big contributor, a pitcher. Obviously Ian will as well. Coleman Norris. We're going to be using Hunter Vyers a little more this year than we did last year. Hunter pitched a lot of JV. He'll be obviously getting the call for varsity. Probably going to utilize Isaac Smith as well. Caden Kime. Geez, a whole bunch of them. But yeah, we've got a lot of depth at pitcher this year. We should have a lot of depth all over this year that we're looking forward to. Going into our first game, it's very difficult to tell who's going to be playing what, just because we have such a good group of juniors and seniors this year. And then, of course, we've got some good freshmen coming up too with Dylan Kindig and Cole Burkholder. Those guys will hopefully contribute a lot. Kurt Johnson will probably get to play catcher a few games, and we're looking forward to bringing those guys in.
What do you expect on the offensive side of things? You got some power? You going to play small ball? What do you expect this year?
Well, without giving too much away, a lot of the older kids, we should be pretty good at hitting this year. Trey and Ian and Coleman all had really good back halves of the year last year. I think overall our team batting was around 160 last year. Our goal this year is to hit 275, and I think try and take the sectional. South Central's won it 9 years in a row.
Yeah.
If my math is correct, we would like to take that away from them and get our first sectional in 21 years.
Yeah, it's been a while, but there's been some really good baseball played here at Argos through the years. So looking to get back on track, and looks like with the senior leadership that you have, you ought to have a good opportunity to have a really good year.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've been working hard in the off season, hitting the weight room, doing some things leading up to this. So far, all the practices we've had have been really good, and we are looking forward to game number 1.
Going to be coming up soon. We're going to try and get some Dragons baseball on the air for you here on RTC TV4. Really looking forward to it. And thanks for taking some time. I know I just kind of popped in here on you and just jumped out of batting practice. You can see there in the back, Coach Overmeyer doing some work with the guys. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it.
Coach Joe Kindig of the Argos baseball team in his second season here with the Argos Dragons, and looking forward to getting some good coverage here for you of Argos Dragons baseball here on RTC TV4. All right, back here at Argos High School, and we're talking to some of the Dragon baseball seniors here, and we'll introduce you to everybody. And we'll start over here on my right with the big man. We know him from basketball, and of course his dad is one of the coaches. So just give us your introduction and tell us a little bit about what you got coming up this year, what positions you play, and all that stuff.
I'm Ian Kindig. I kind of play all over the place, and I think we got a pretty good team going on this year.
I'm Trey DeVos, and can't really top what he just said. Looking good for this year.
I'm Coleman Norris and play everywhere also. I think we're going to do a lot better than we have in the past years.
All right, we got a straggler coming in here, so jump in here, come in here where we can see you. Tell us your name and what you're going to be playing.
My name is Hunter Vyers, and I'll be playing outfield.
All right, so we talked a little bit with Coach. You guys struggled a little bit last year, but you got a nice group of seniors here this year, and really looking forward. He's talking about the possibility of maybe taking that sectional crown away from South Central. Ian, talk a little bit about what you guys are going to have to do to really build for that.
Well, we have. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, it's not really an advantage, but we have more senior leadership this year compared to last year, and last year we made a lot of errors. We can't really do that this year if we want to win.
So Trey, you go on the mound as Ian does. Talk a little bit about the importance, obviously, of pitching in high school baseball. Any baseball, pitching is important, but you got some big time senior leadership on the mound. So talk a little bit about that advantage.
I feel like with us seniors, we kind of keep everything composed. We know what we're doing, making sure everyone's in their place, ready to go, and focused on the game.
Coleman, like Ian said, you really got to limit those errors, and so back there in the field, talk a little bit about what you guys are working on here this year to really work on limiting those errors as much as you can.
I would say it's more of a trust factor. The pitcher relying on all the outfielders and the infielders doing their job to back up everyone else and just have everyone's backs.
Hunter, you got a tall test. You got some really good players out here. Talk about what you're doing here to help the team this year.
For sure. Well, I may not personally be the best, but I definitely like to try to keep the team's heads up. As our coach says, when one person goes down, it's 8 on 9, and if that person doesn't get put back up, then it keeps spiraling down and down as a snowball effect, and I like to try to keep that up.
All right, so everybody come out here to the ballpark, and if you can't, you're going to watch some Dragon baseball here on RTC TV4. Ian, Trey, Coleman, Hunter, we appreciate you coming by, and get back out there and get back to practice. Hey, good morning, everyone. Steve Stricker here. We're back here at Argos High School this morning talking to the head softball coach, Alyssa Thayer. And Coach, we got some softball for you last year. And got to see a lot of the games, obviously, with Macy playing, and thinking about it a little bit, it was one of those years that it just seemed like you guys were in every game, but there was always that one inning.
Yep.
Seemed like it was always the third inning, too. Yep. So what are you doing this year, and how are you going to, kind of try and eliminate that?
Basically, in practice, we've been working on just staying up. Staying in games, trying not to let that domino effect happen of errors. And I think the girls all know that, and they've been trying to communicate and say, hey, we're not doing that anymore, get it in quick, and hold on to the ball and not let anything else happen like that.
So I was trying to think in my head, everyone knows that hurts, but I was thinking 7th year here?
No, this is actually my 11th.
11th. Oh my, I was way off. I was going to go up and say 11th year as the head coach. Okay. So you've been through it. You've know what the ups and downs are like of a softball season. You got a nice group of freshmen this year. Talk a little bit about your team. Let's start with the seniors. Talk about your seniors, and we'll work through and just kind of, what your expectations are.
Seniors this year, really, they're going to step it up, and they're all going to be leaders. I have 4. Allison Overmeyer is going to do a lot of our pitching. Has improved a lot over practice. We've been pitching her a lot. She's starting to find her groove in pitching. Leslie Cather is going to kind of play a mix of positions, catcher, third base, outfield, wherever we kind of need her this year. Kaylee Carlton, mainly outfield, has a very powerful bat. She's been crushing the ball in practice lately off of live or anything that we've done. And then Erin Edwards is going to step up, do a little bit of pitching for us when we need her to, and then probably first base. I only have 1 junior right now. She's hurt. Hasn't been around a whole lot just because she's trying to trying to figure out her injury and stuff like that. But then I have all freshmen and sophomores. Someone that we're really relying on stepping up this year's Haley Lagenauer at shortstop. She's been practicing very well. She's starting to step up and be a leader as well. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of who all I have missing too. Some freshmen that I expect to step up big time this year too is Allison Zom. She's going to do a lot of our pitching as well. She's a lefty, something different that we haven't seen. Yeah. She is probably going to be on the mound quite a bit as well. If not, she'll be outfield or probably mainly infield wherever we need her to. And then we have McKenna Lineberry, who is a very good slapper, very speedy. Will give us speed around the bases, and I think that will be very beneficial for us if we can get her on base. Other than that, we have a mix of other girls that can play wherever I need them to play. So.
Well, and that's always an advantage, having some girls that can go, different places. And, you can see the sun's out. It's still pretty chilly out here. It's still that typical March weather. And, well, it's going to be coming up here shortly. We're going to be over at Culver, and we're going to get that first game for you guys. So that's always a rivalry game. I talked to Coach over there last week, and he was, really looking forward to that game with you guys. You guys are good friends, and talk about, how tough that is to go over there. You never know what the weather's going to be like. It's usually cold, obviously, still the first part of April. So talk about that rivalry with Culver.
We always go head to head. I mean, that's a competition that it's the very first game for us mainly every year, and we both know that if we do the right thing, we both can win. It's kind of that way, and it's if we have that bad inning, either team, it's gonna determine the game. But Brian and I, we go back to, we played softball together, so it's kind of a rivalry between us as well. But I think if we can pull everything together, we can win that one, and it would be a good start to our season. So.
Great start to the season. I remember last year, it was one of those games. You guys were playing right with them, and I think it was the third inning again, and I think you guys even had 2 outs against them, and maybe one person on base. And next thing you know, I think they put up 4 or 5 runs, and that kind of put the nail in the coffin. I think it was still within a couple runs, but it's just that one inning.
One inning. That's usually how it always is for us. If we can get past that one inning, that everybody gets down, and I think if we can get over that hump, we could win some games that no one expects us to, for sure.
Well, we're going to try and get as many Argos softball games as we can here on the air. One of our problems here is our producer is standing at second base. So we're still trying to figure out how to get a headset on Phil as he's, also coaching. That's going to be rough because we don't want some of the language probably on our air. But appreciate everything. Really looking forward to some softball, looking forward to some warm weather.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm hoping for that warm weather as well.
All right, 11th year head coach Alyssa Thayer here at Argos High School, and we'll be back with some more interviews. We're going to talk to Phil and maybe get some of the seniors here. All right, back here at Argos High School, and joined now by one of the assistant coaches. This is a man that has done a lot of stuff for us over the years, Mr. Phil Dean. And Phil, we talked about it a lot throughout the year. I've talked with Chris Stevens and Mike Bushman over at Culver, and everybody that we deal with. And you're one of those that you wear a lot of hats. And for those of you that don't know the history with Phil, started out years ago behind the camera with us when Andy and I and you were running around doing the Argos voice. Behind the camera then, and you reprised your role a little bit here this year, and you jumped in and you took over as the producer for Argos. So you've done that for us. You're an assistant coach here for the softball team. You're on the fire department. You and Tony are surrogate parents to anybody that needs it.
Oh yeah.
Got 2 daughters that are actually your daughters. So talk a little bit about how you balance all the different hats that you have to wear, and then we'll talk a little bit about the softball too.
Well, it's pretty much I have to give credit to my wife, because she's the one that tells me what I'm doing during the day. I know that we're all married and our wives all tell us what to do, but literally it's like every morning, what do you got going on? And you sit there and you start rattling everything off, and then if I forget something, then a lot of times she'll remind me, and you just kind of start scheduling your day out. And so it's from sun up till sundown, and you just keep going. But as we all know, there's very few people out there that are willing to do that, and that's how you get stuff done. Everybody says that you want to get something done, don't ask the person that's not doing anything. Go find the person that don't have another minute
to spare in their day, and it'll get done.
Figure out some way to get it done. And we really appreciate what you did this year, stepping up in the producer role for us here at Argos. Everybody knows Andy Stone as the voice of Argos sports, but this man right here is behind the scenes, and he does a lot of stuff for us, and really has stepped up this year. And you'll see him going to games with 6 or 7 bags on his shoulders and trying to get up the stairs. So if you see him, give him a wide berth, give him a little hand every once in a while. And I just feel glad that we were able to get you in front of the camera for once.
Oh, you're just wanting to see me actually talk. I don't get to do a lot of talking during the basketball games because Andy pretty much takes care of that, and it's so fast paced that he'll turn around and ask you a question. It's like, do what? I might be 3 plays behind him. So yeah, you don't hear me talk very much on air for the basketball games.
So here you're an assistant coach for the softball team. We talked with Alyssa, and she's been coaching for 11 years. How long have you been helping out with the program?
With the high school program, I want to say 8-9 years. I came on a couple of years afterwards. I've been coaching the rec league since 2007, and when she came on board here after the first year or two, she came down and said, hey, I'm going to change up a couple of things that you're doing. And I said, well, instead of changing, how about if I just come work for you, and then we just teach it down at the lower level. So that way, by the time they hit high school, they should fundamentally have that grasped and got it under control instead of trying to change them once they hit the high school age.
Yeah, I remember a couple years ago when your first group of Pee Wee girls graduated. I know that was a very emotional time for you.
Oh yeah, we had 3 of them that pretty much stayed at my house the whole time. It's one of the coaches one time said, well, there goes the coach and all of his little ducklings.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I'm trying to even think what year that was. It was 4 years ago, I think. But yeah, we had a huge group to graduate then. So you're starting to get me choked up now.
Just thinking about it, I think it was 14 because I think it was Maddie's junior year. So I think it might have been the year before she graduated. But yeah, I do a lot of youth coaching with having 3 daughters, and it's an emotional thing when the kids that you've known since they were just little kids, if they're grown up and they have kids of their own. And
yep. And it's one of the things that's it's once they're out of school, it doesn't stop there. I mean, to this day, we keep in contact, not as often as what I'd like. Sometimes you miss those kids, but we still stay in contact, and whenever they see me around the field or even out in public, they come running.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know Tony's, passionately referred to as Mama Dean and you Papa Dean. And so you guys do such great things around the community. I just want to get Phil in front of the camera for once. And like I told Alyssa, we're still trying to figure out how we're going to get you to produce the games here while you're coaching. Well, we appreciate it. We really, really do. We appreciate everything you've done for us, as a family, as a coach, as a broadcaster, producer for us. So appreciate everything, and we don't give him the accolades that we should as much as we should, but this guy right here, he's a pretty special guy. All right, Steve Stricker back here at Argos High School. The sun's out. It's a beautiful morning here for some softball. Still a little chilly. We got the 3 seniors that are here this morning practicing for the Lady Dragons softball team. And we'll just go around the horn, and you just tell us your name and position, and we'll talk to you a little bit here.
I'm Allison Overmeyer, and I'm the pitcher.
Leslie Cather, and I'm the catcher.
Kaylee Carlton, on the center field.
You sure? We love Kaylee. So known you guys for a long time. Been watching you on the softball field and the soccer field and basketball court and everywhere here. So talk a little bit about your experience through your 4 years here for Argos softball.
It's been quite a journey. I can't believe it's already almost over, but it's been a great 4 years so far. I'm not ready for it to end, but I think this season's going to be a really good season.
Yeah, like what she said, it's been a really good 3 seasons, so I'm really looking forward to it. I don't want it to end. It's always been such a great experience. Every time you walk out in the field, you just feel so loved and like accepted and everything.
This is going to be my 3rd year, so I didn't play my freshman year, so I kind of regret that, but like they said, it's going to be great.
So the thing about Argos that I love, obviously I've got 2 kids graduated and one still here. Like you said, it is a family. Phil and Alyssa and Guy and everybody that helps out with the program, everybody, they treat you like family because basically it is a family. So talk a little bit, if you will, about your future plans, if you have them or if you're still working on that.
Right now I'm planning on going to the University of Indianapolis to be in their nursing program.
Awesome.
I'm planning on going to college, not sure which one yet, but I'm going to go into either anesthesiology or radiology.
I'm going to Purdue, and I'm going to try to be an auditor.
Auditor, sounds like my daughter. You like the numbers?
Yeah.
All right, so 3 great young ladies here. Really looking forward to seeing some Lady Dragons softball on the air here on RTC TV4. Appreciate you guys taking some time, and best of luck to y'all in the season.
Thanks.
Thank
you. I got her off guard. That's all right. Great group of kids here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Steve Stricker for RTC TV4.